So we got this segment 52 Facts Friday. Got my guest tonight is Lyte Burly. Thank you for coming on. Much appreciated. For anybody who may not know who you are, let the people know.
52 Block Rejuvenator, brought it back to life, put out the team of the Burleys, doing it like 15 years now. YouTube, putting out the videos, just trying to get the word out about 52 Blocks. If you haven't seen any of your videos, you can go to YouTube under 52 Blocks Info. We got like 4,000 videos up. So you can catch up and figure out where we at with it. We just represent the Burly side of 52 Blocks.
All right. Now, when you say the Burly side of 52 Blocks, I know you 52 AOD, right?
52 AOD is going to be the non-for-profit. I just started the non-for-profit. That's going to be the non-for-profit thing. 52 Blocks. On the Burly side, what I mean on the Burly side, the Golden Gloves. We into like the professional fighting, MMA
right.
Type of thing. Not saying that it can't be used in a fist fight. Still do the same thing, but we've been looking towards trying to make it relevant on the professional side of fighting. So that's what I mean by the Burly side. We're looking
Copy. So
MMA, boxing, that type of thing.
So one of the first questions I usually ask people is, how did you first become aware of 52 Blocks? And tell us a little bit about your journey into 52 Blocks.
Well, that's a while back. 12 years old, Far Rockaway, Queens. Anybody that knows anything about Far Rockaway, Queens, everybody was 52 Block fighting out there. We saw the dudes that really knew how to fight. Because we had more of a connection with Brooklyn. I credit Brooklyn with being like, I want to say in New York, the home of 52 Blocks. It was at a point where everybody met anybody from Brooklyn that got to a fist fight with them. They was doing 52 Blocks. So I think by that way, Queens got it heavier than like Manhattan and the Bronx. I'm not saying that they wasn't doing it up there, but I think Queens got more of the effect. We're closer to Brooklyn. So, my cousins was into it. One of the guys I talk about, True God, he was very good with it. He was like one of the first people that I seen use triangle trade in a real-time situation. And it was from there that I started really liking what I seen with 52 Blocks as far as the hand feints, the setups. And, from there I went on into Manhattan. Not a lot of people knew about it in Manhattan, but there was a brother, Mr. 52. We don't see on the same. We don't really rock with each other. But I can't take credit. I can't take away the credit that he came down and we would spar every Friday. He was like the only person I knew. And him and Mr. G were like the only people I knew in Manhattan that really had an understanding of 52 Blocks. From there on, I went with Roberto Sharp, Wilson Pitts. Wilson Pitts helped me really put it together with real punching. Because before that, I was punching like a girl. So Wilson Pitts straightened up my punches. And, he made it more relevant, straight right hands. Instead of slapping with your punches, not for nothing. That's what Ramel was doing. And that's something that I credit Wilson for helping me with. Putting in real live punches, jab, straight hook, uppercut, better stance, better balance. And, from then on, he told me I should put out a DVD on it because nobody was talking about it at this time. On YouTube, if you typed in 52 Blocks, you got a 52 B-2 bomber plane came up. There was nothing on YouTube about it. So I put out a video, then came with DVD. The DVD took off, and now we here. Years later, we here. It's a whole 52 Blocks universe, and I think that's dope. That everybody else was able to jump in and add their 2 cents, because there was a guy that told me I was making it up. So once other people started coming in, he couldn't hold on to that anymore because, you know, we all can't dream the same dream at the same time. So it showed that, you know, I wasn't making it up. There was other people that were doing it, seeing it, and started telling their stories. You know, other brothers came in, and that kind of really solidified and certified what I was talking about.
Absolutely. So now, just like so people understand, right? Like because I often tell people that, and you probably heard me. Actually, you and I have had conversations in the past. I use this analogy with karate and how you got karate is the brand, and then you got different styles of karate that fall up under that generic head. And 52 is pretty much the same. Like you got, I'm not gonna do it the way you do it. You're not gonna do it how I do it. The way that we do it is not gonna be the same as the brothers of Constellation. They're not gonna do it the same as somebody else. Like everybody's style is different, but there's certain elements that you see it and you know that, all right, that's definitely 52, because without those elements, it can't be that, right? So, you kind of touched on it already, but give them more little detail, like what sets the Burly side of 52 apart from everybody else.
Well, it's free expression. Like I always said, tell people martial arts is free expression. There's no way to lock away something like that. Like if we all doing it the same way, we're doing it wrong. You know,
I like that.
It would be impossible for all of us to do it the same way because we got different body types. Like even my teacher would tell me he was 6 foot, so he told me when I'm teaching you got to make it yours because you're 5'7", you know. So it's different body mechanics. So there's no way we all could look the same because then we would be robots and we wouldn't really. That wouldn't be free expression. So all martial arts is free expression. Even the way I do my Wing Chun should look different from somebody else. Now, are there elements of it that make it the system? Correct. And that's what we look for in 52 is that the elements and the fundamentals of 52 should be the same. Like we should all be trying to reach the same destination, but how we get there is different. You may go in the car, may jog, he may take a motorbike, he may be on a skateboard, that dude may be on a scooter, but if we all going to the same destination, it really don't matter how we arrive, right? So the destination of 52 is defense. That's the destination. So how you get there, it's on you. You know, like whatever vehicle you choose to get there is your choice. But it's the defense that makes all of us link together on what we're trying to do. And that's how I see 52. 52 is the only art that talks about self-preservation.
I agree with you 110%. That's the whole thing. Putting up those impenetrable blocks and then countering off those blocks, using their blocks as a setup, as opposed to everybody else is, you know, trying to just bum rush, bully through. Right?
That's right.
And that definitely makes us unique.
That's right.
Now, I know that you're aware of this renaissance with the 52 because for decades, people didn't know what it was. And then those who might have heard about it, it's like, oh, it's a myth, right? Those outside of our communities, because in our communities, we always knew it was a thing, right? So those outside of our communities, years thought it was a myth or whatever. Now it's experiencing a resurgence, right? The whole renaissance. And like you said, you pump life into that, right? Because I ain't gonna hold you. When I came home, just out of curiosity to see if anybody was doing anything with 52 blocks, I put in the search, and your shit was the first one that came up. Right? So,
we was working. We was working like, you know, like that, you know, I don't, it never sounds good to blow your own bugle. It's always better when people blow the bugle for you. But to blow my own bugle on that was, I definitely put out the first video and getting the ball rolling. Now I heard like Brother Newsome, he was talking about it in the magazine. That's dope. You know, all of that's good stuff. But as far as like the actual visuals of it, I was the first to go on YouTube and start putting it out there, and to say, come to the park and test it. Like, bring your art. Like, no, no bad intentions, just warrior shit. You do what you do, I do what I do. Let's see what happens. And it kind of grew from there. You know, I had Muay Thai, Knock Measy, one of my closest allies. He started off as an enemy. Now he's one of my closest allies. He came to the park, kicked me in the face. We had to, we had to do the thing. We had to do the thing, like, and that's what it's about. I had boxers come through. I had some strange dudes show up. I had a dude come all the way from Japan, which I thought was crazy. So that's what I was about, was just showing people that it's a real thing. I didn't create YouTube. I didn't start it. I just wanted to show people that this is real. Like, this is not something that is a myth. That, that was the chat that I heard before. Like, oh, it doesn't exist, not real. That's why I decided to put the videos out. And
that's dope.
Yeah,
that's dope as hell, man. But so with this resurgence, like, so first, this is going to be a two-part question, because we're going to circle back to this toward the end. Right? So the first part of this is, where do you see it going? Right? What direction do you see 52 going in?
I see 52, like, 52 is going into a special niche that wasn't looked at. Like, when you look at the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guys, like, for them, it was karate guys and boxers running around talking about, oh, I ain't got to worry about the ground. I'm never going to go to the ground. I'll hit you with it, and yada, yada, yada. The Gracies came and proved all of that wrong, because they mobbed you to the ground and turned you into a baby. So everybody had to run and get some groundwork. Everybody had to run to get their groundwork, because they proved that you can't just be a striker, that there's a whole world that exists on the ground. And I feel the same way about 52, is that there's a whole world that exists in defense. Like, so many people want to punch people in the face, kick them in the face, but they're not thinking about what happens when you get punched in the face, or you get kicked in the body, or like, because defense has never been looked at as a manly thing. Like, when you go to the football game and, your team is down, you can hear the chant of, let's go defense, let's go. But you never hear that at a fight. You never see at a fight your favorite fighters get beat up. You never hear people start screaming, let's go defense. Because in fighting, somehow defense has been made to be a scary thing. That's what punks do. Like, they don't. So defense has gotten a bad hand. It's been dealt a bad hand on what this really is. To me, 52 blocks is going to change all of that. It's going to make 52. It's going to make defense sexy again. Being defensive is a sexy thing. Ain't nothing wrong with being defensive. Matter of fact, if you look at fighters, it's the defensive fighters that are still talking right. Like, I seen an interview with Thomas the Hitman Hearns and Sugar Ray Leonard, and they was talking about their fight, and Sugar Ray was very articulate with it. Yeah, Hearns was coming at me. I had to work. He thought he had me. And, he was still talking. Then when they went to the Hitman Hearns, his talking was like a Bieber Bubba Bieber, like he had took too many punches. Because Hitman Hearns' thing wasn't defense. His thing was offense, which is cool, but he ate too many shots. And then you can see later on in life the problem with that. He could barely talk. Leonard, whose thing was defense, he's still articulate with it. He can still talk. So that's the power of defense. Even Mayweather. You look at Mayweather can still talk, because his thing was defense. So to me, that's where I see 52 going, is that it's going to become the premier defensive art that makes men start to think about, oh yeah, I got to worry about when the man's trying to hit me too. Like, what am I going to do when he's trying to hit me?
I like that. Just piggybacking on that a little bit, right? I think that one of the things, as far as with 52, that makes it sexy, as you said, I like that. I'm glad I'm stealing that. It's like a proactive defense, though. You know what I mean? Because it's not like, a lot of times when people think of defense, they thinking, right, just, covering up, stopping the dude from hitting me. They're not thinking cover and counter or anything like that. 52 takes all of every defensive action you have, you can counter off of a 52. There's never really a time you're stagnant and you have to think about what's your next move to get up out of the jam. You're never really in the jam. You just use your defense to put the up dude in the jam. That right there, we got the market on that, man.
Oh yeah. Nobody's doing it like 52. Yeah. In the defensive side, like there's no art that's all about defense. And the thing about it is what makes it real is that defense is self-preservation. That's already in you. Like if somebody tried to hit you in the head, you're gonna do something. It may not be, scientifically good, but yeah, you're gonna do something. Offense is not in you. Like you just don't know how to punch. You just don't know how to kick. Like you got to go learn those things. So what makes studying 52 good is self-preservation is already in you. Your body naturally wants to protect itself from incoming harm. So to train that and make it sharper will only make your offense sharp. Like my offense is sharp. It's because my defense is sharp. Like, our motto is make you miss, make you pay. So once you start to learn how to make people miss, you see the window of attack. And so your offense jumps to a whole nother level.
Okay. I like that, man. I like that. That was deep right there. But so I know you got a lot of students, man. Tell people if they're interested in training with you, how would they go about doing? I know you got the online thing going on.
Yes, sir. We got 2 online classes. We got one at learn-martialarts.com. That's learn-martialarts.com. Then we have advanced.lyteburly.com. Now, the learn-martialarts.com is 500 lessons, 5 levels. You can take a test after each level to become an instructor or be able to go out there and teach it. Advanced.lyteburly.com is kind of for the people that have already been doing something. They're already kind of skilled and they don't want to go through the step-by-step. You can go to advanced.lyteburly.com, where it's kind of more of an open book videos, got other instructors on there too. I'm now in Texas, San Antonio Dominion Gym. So I'm a boxing coach over there, teaching 52 blocks over there. So if you're ever in Texas, you want to get that work, you can find me in Texas at Dominion Gym. On YouTube, 52 blocks info. I got more than 4,000 vids up there. So if you just want to go and study that way, you can. Instagram is Lyte Burly 52. Facebook is Lyte Burly 52. And I got a lot of Burleys. Like a lot of my students are now teaching, Problem Burly, ATL Burly, Denmark Burly, Diamond Burly, Left Hook Tay, Joel, Pac-Man Burly. We got a lot of Burleys out there. I feel like that. I've been blessed to have a lot of good students take it serious and put in that work. I'm saying? Bully Burly out in Cali. We got people in certain places, in certain states to represent. Bully Burly is in Cali. Vegas Burly's in Vegas. ATL out in ATL. So we got Burleys centered in different places that if you're in one of these meccas, you can definitely reach out and go get you some lessons out there. And, we salute what you're doing with the weaponry with 52, which is dope.
Well, I'm actually going to have ATL Burly on here next week, man.
Yeah. Good brother. He's doing a lot of work.
Yeah, I was chopping it up with him. I like the brother, man.
Yeah. Nah, that's my dude. I went out there. Yeah, he got a chance to tangle. Me and him tangled. Like, we was moving furniture around. Like, we had to move some furniture around. You know what I'm saying? Because this is a manly sport, so there's going to be some competition in there. It's going to be some ego. Ego is a good thing. Ego ain't a bad thing in the right dosage. In the right dosage is a good thing. It can help you. So we went through all of those levels. So ATL, if you out there in ATL and you need an instructor, he's the brother to go see. And he's in line with what you're doing, like the karambit knife. He's always been a weapon man. When I met him, he was in the weapons. I didn't do that. he was already in the weapons. He's just making it fit the 52 block criteria, which is dope. You know, I salute that. Not because I'm not a heavy weapon man myself, so to have y'all brothers doing that is going to take 52 to another level. You know, so when someone says, "So what about some weapons?" You know, we got you, we got ATL Burly. So you know, I like what y'all doing. Y'all got to keep repping that.
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. And I definitely appreciate that, brother. I like that brother a lot, man. But all right, so now this is a big question right here, right?
All right.
I had noticed that there had been kind of a movement among certain people to disassociate 52 blocks from the prison system, right? Now, make this qualify say, no way am I saying you need to go to prison and learn 52, that was stupid, right? Cool. But the dude, you got a whole bunch of dudes, like those are the founders, right? They put in a lot of the work, boom. What do you think about that movement to disassociate 52 from the individuals from the prison system?
You know, I kind of stand with it because I believe, like I had this thing I used to say is when we talking about the locked up of 52 is I would say is when they was locking us up for being black, not selling crack. So what I mean is we talking about Jack Johnson on the Chitlin circuit. You know, 10 black men in the ring blindfolded. You know, we talking about that jail. I definitely don't believe in we have to associate it with being criminals. Like I was a criminal all my life. I'm not now. And, I don't think that is a smart path for 52 for the youngest coming up. But all arts have had criminals. There's Wing Chun criminals. You know, there's boxing criminals. Like that's not just a Pacific or 52 block thing. Like,
right.
You know, there was chefs that went to jail, and guess what they were in jail? They were chefs. They was the ones hooking up the Jack Mackel because in the outer world they were really a chef. So I don't think you have to associate or to say that it was a prison because it still was an outside the world thing. You know, a lot of 52 block fighters went to jail and they were still doing it in jail. Like, so I don't think the connection has to be made that it was born in jail. No, I don't think that has to be made. But I respect all my brothers that went to jail and did 52. I don't not respect their path. Like whatever your path was, that was your path. But saying it in a way that this is where me and I'm Mr. 52, Rob, kind of went our separate paths, is that he wanted to keep it a gangster criminal thing. I just don't believe it. I believe in gangsters taking care of your kids, you know.
I agree. But I think, so let me clarify. What I mean is this. All right, because you addressed this dude, the Russian guy, right? All right, so we know that you had a lot of dudes, and again, like I said, you don't need to go to prison to learn it, right? Yes. And we're not promoting criminality in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Right. But the mention of these brothers, right? People like the dude from Russia, if you let him have his way, he would have just been like, oh nah, fuck the old man shot stars and the mother dead. No. We're gonna deal with this guy, the master of deception over from Spain and all that other shit. You see what I'm saying? This is what I mean. It's like you have certain individuals that feel that those brothers shouldn't be mentioned. That's what I mean about the disassociation from the prison system. Not necessarily that it was born in prison. No, I'm saying that you had dudes that were pioneers who used it in life and death situations and taught other individuals. And this is why you got some of the other legends, because they learned from these guys. And then people are like, well, all right, well, fuck them dudes because they never made it out of prison. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah. Like, well, at that point, we can talk about Mother Dear, who was a gay man. And there's a lot of stories. So, like, we can't take him out of the picture, and he was a 52 block pioneer and in jail doing his thing. And he was gay. A lot of 52 block fighters don't want to, or men don't want to associate with him because he was a gay man, but he was a real thing. So, you know, there's no eliminating those brothers from the story. You know, like some brothers went to jail and they still rep 52. Glass Man, you know, he was up in there. He still repped 52. You know, my father talked about a guy they called Chicken Neck, but he said all he would do is sit in his cell and do this. And he said you couldn't hit him with a bag of punches. He said you couldn't land a punch because all he would do is work his chicken neck. And so, no, we don't take those brothers out the story. Everybody that's in the story is in the story for a reason. But what the Russian guys were trying to do was not even just the jail thing. They was just trying to take it from the black man and said it was a Spanish man that started it. And that's where me and them went off the cliff together, because we're not going to do that. You know what I'm saying? You ain't going to just pass out into the Latinos like we ain't have nothing to do with it. So that was my big beef with the Russian guys. You know, as far as the jail thing, like I said, as long as we're not trying to promote criminality or going to jail, we can't take the jail aspect away from it. And that's why I've always added the deeper level to it, where it was also the jail was also when they were sending you to jail for being black. You know what I'm saying? Like my man Jack Johnson, you know what I'm saying, who was sent to jail for being black. You know, so we can go way deeper than that, because, you know, we've always kind of been in this state of bondage. And now when you move it up to the jail now, brothers went to jail, came home, and they're doing better. They took in that one moment and leapfrog, such as yourself. You know what I'm saying? You out there doing the correct thing from that moment. So no, those brothers will never be overlooked or separated from the story. We're going to talk about those brothers, what they did and what they're doing now. And like I said, with me and Ramel, he wanted to continue it, and that's why we went left. It's like, nah, I'm not going to continue. It's not going to be a hood, because then we're looking at the world through the hood. The world is way bigger than these hoods that we came from. And there's fighters out there that are serious. So we got to be ready to meet those guys and those guys and show our thing. So we can't have it to where it's just a hood thing where you're not really training, you know, you drinking. You don't really know. It got to be a real thing. You're really working on it Monday through Sunday. You're practicing, drilling, you're sparring, you're doing whatever you need to do to make it a real thing. So when we go meet these other arts, we're ready, you know, because there's a lot of Muay Thai guys that want a piece of a 52 man. They say, oh, y'all the men of defense. Let's see what you do against my kid. So we got to be ready for those guys that, you know, trying to keep it, you know, on the block type thing.
I support that 110%. I always talk about the evolution of the system. Any art that's not evolving is dying, man.
It's dying.
Any art that's not evolving is dying, man. Right?
Man, that's
I agree.
That's life. Yeah.
Huh?
And that's anything. I said that's life. Anything that chooses not to evolve is going to die.
Yeah, man. So, you know, you get people who feel like it should only stay one way. You know what I mean? I don't agree with that. It definitely has to evolve. It has to be able to address a whole bunch of different types of threats, not just boxing. Boxing ain't the only threat no more. You got, like you said, the jiu-jitsu guy, the Muay Thai guy. You got all these people. All these people are a threat now. You got to be able to address all of them.
That's right. That's a fact. That's a fact.
You know, yo, I want to come back a little bit. Just put it out there for the people. The Russian guy, you called him out. You called to fight him. He didn't want to fight, right?
Oh man, that was a real stressful part. That was a stressful part of my life, because they set me up to fight some dude in Cali. I was totally with it. I said, I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna wash him up. He was fat and out of shape. I'm sorry, if you out of shape, you ain't getting in the ring with me. It's gonna be a problem. Health is a part of fighting. You can't have a belly hanging over your kneecap thinking you're going to get in the ring with Burly. I'm going to run you through. So as the time got closer for the fight, I noticed on my Facebook, I started getting these Facebook copyright strikes. Like I was stealing people's stuff, and I wasn't. They took my Facebook. So I'm like, what's going on? Then it started happening to my Instagram. And I'm like, yo, they take my Instagram. Then they started working on my YouTube. But by that time, from Facebook and Instagram, I seen what was going on. Come to find out, these Russian guys were hackers. And they were very good at they were trying to erase me off of social media. They didn't really want to fight me, so they just started trying to erase me. I had to go into a 3-month war with them on YouTube. I had to get Google involved, and universe. Thanks to the universe, they wasn't able to erase me. I had a girl named Jenny from Google, who fought with me, and we fought against them, and we proved to YouTube that they were hackers trying to erase me off of YouTube, and I was able to save my YouTube. I couldn't save my Facebook and Instagram. That's why, if you look at my Facebook and Instagram, I had to start over with them. Like, really, my Instagram should be like 10, 15. I should have a blue check on Instagram right now, but because they had my first one erased, I had to start over. But like I said, my main thing was YouTube, because that was my baby. Like, I had spent 14 years building that YouTube. So I was really more concerned with YouTube than Facebook and Instagram. So yeah, they were Russian hackers. They really didn't want no smoke. They wanted to act like they wanted that smoke, and then when it was time, they just started trying to erase me off the internet.
I'm glad you kept them from deleting your YouTube, man.
Oh man, it's still happening. It's still happening. They still I just had a strike on YouTube. They still coming at me. I'm probably one of the most hated men in the game, because I talk my shit. I ain't gonna lie. I talk my shit. If you want to get in there with me and you ain't up to par, I'ma slap you around. Because it comes, what people don't want to understand with fighting is it's a mathematical thing. It's time in. And you can't dispute that. You can't. Like, if I got 15 years in and you only got a year in, what do you think is going to happen? Like, a dude came to me and said, yo, like, you so nice, you get in there with Mayweather, you touch Mayweather up. And I'm like, whoa, brother. No, I won't. Mayweather been doing it since he was like 6 years old. He got more time in than me. Like, no. I'd be happy if I could block one shot off of Mayweather. He probably touched me up, but if I can get just one good one, I'd be happy with that, because the man's been doing it since he slid out the birth canal. So that's time in. You can't dispute that. I would never dispute that. You will never see me up there saying I can beat up Mayweather. You'll never see that, because I respect the mathematics of time in. And anybody that got more time in than me, I'm saluting. But if you ain't got the time that I put in, excuse me, and you think you're going to jump in there with me, you're going to learn the hard way that it's a mathematical thing. There's magic with the numbers. And, it's just like being in jail. It's just like being in jail. You got 15 years in. This guy comes in. He only got 2 months in. And he going to talk like he know the ropes. What's going to happen to him? He going to get ran through. You talking to a man that got 15 years in. He knows the system. He knows how things work. And that's all it is. It's time in.
I can dig it. So now I want to circle back to the question I asked you earlier, and we're going to switch it up just a little bit. So earlier I asked you what direction you see 52 going in. Now I want to ask you, what direction would you like to see it going?
Well, it's kind of crazy, because the direction I want to see 52 going in is the direction it's going in, which is 52 blocks is the fastest growing martial art of today. I don't know if anybody knows that, but look it up. We are the fastest growing martial art of today. Like, despite the ones that have already been there. Like, start thinking about these other arts. Like, this, from all races of men, they got arts we've never heard of. Like, I just heard of some art from India that's like 400 years old. I've never heard of it before, but they out there doing it. They doing it. So out of those type of arts, 52 blocks is the fastest growing martial art of today. So it actually is going in the direction that I see it. Where I want to see is go to like the silver screen. I want to see it in movies. I want to see it more in boxing matches, MMA fights. And it's going that way. Like the brother Yoel Romero, I think from MMA, he's doing 52. I don't know if anybody's seen it. He used it against the style bender. He's doing it. So I want to see more of that, but it's happening. So I want to, so the direction that I want to see it going in, it's actually going that way, which is a dope thing.
You say Yoel, who trains him?
Huh?
Who does he train with? Yoel Rivera.
I'm not sure, but what I've come to find out is that he's Cuban. And if anybody knows Cuban boxing, they're heavy. Cuban boxing is heavy on defense. Heavy. So I just think that connection right there is what has him, looking like a 52 block practitioner, because Cuban boxing is all about defense. The hand fake, foot, like they all with it. So that's why he looks that way. And his brother is a Cuban boxer. So it makes sense.
All right. All right, so now we're going to wrap this up in a second. I want you to give us a quote, man. It could be one of your own personal or a quote that inspired you.
Well, the quote that we use around here at the Burly way is make 'em miss, make 'em pay. That's our quote. that's the T-shirt. Make 'em miss, make 'em pay. And I also have one that I used on my DVD, which is I defend, so therefore I am. And I think defense is everything. Offense. Like they said, I've heard the saying, the greatest defense is an offense. I disagree. The greatest defense is a defense. And offense wins fights, but defense wins championships. Meaning, when your life is really on the deck, you're going to need some defense. It ain't about offense. Defense reigns supreme over offense because defense is self-preservation. You're thinking about you first. And that's what I teach my students. It's not about killing the man in front of you. It's about making sure he can't kill you. Or it's very hard for him to do that. Then you can take his head. Then we can start talking about how we chop his head off. So our saying is make 'em miss, make 'em pay.
Just so you know, that's rapidly becoming the 52 motto right there across the board, right? I use that a lot myself when I teach seminars.
That's right. That's right.
So,
you can't go wrong with that.
Actually, I got one more question. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with, matter of fact, I'm not even going to put it, I know that there are certain systems, right, that don't affiliate themselves or don't associate themselves with 52 in any kind of way. But when you look at what they do, it's like somebody taught them 1 or 2 blocks, maybe 3 blocks, and they took it with it and they developed their own shit. I actually had a debate with a group out of Connecticut about that very thing. I was like, yo, I see you talking about this, this, and this, but that look like 52 to me, and I don't hear you crediting 52. And they try to tell me some nonsense. What's your feeling on it, man?
Well, you can't stop that. Like I had a lot of people like tell me, don't teach the white people, don't teach these people, they're going to steal it. And I disagree. I believe a lot of the things that they stole, we didn't bring to the forefront. That's how they stole it. Like barbecue. I just learned that, barbecue came from us, and they used to come down to the hoods to get the good barbecue, and go about their way. Where they beat us at was they started promoting the barbecue and opening barbecue shops while we just kept it to ourselves. So my teacher told me something. He said, if you keep something to yourself, it dies with you. And we need to stop that. We have to start presenting who we are so it doesn't die. And like 52, like I told the guy that said it, it's like 52 can never be stolen from us because there's a record created by YouTube. Like if you go back further enough, you'll see my video and you'll always hear me talking about the black excellence of 52 Block. So it can't be stolen. Like, I mean, they can go put it in the movie and it'll blow up in the movie before we do a movie, but then that would be our fault once again because we didn't promote our own thing. We got Tyler Perry, we got 50 Cent, we got all of these rich black men. They should be supporting this thing so that way it won't be stolen or it won't be taken by another group of men. So it falls back on us to support ourselves. And I get it, like I said, I get a lot of dudes that get mad because I teach other nationalities of men. But, you know, in fighting, just like soldiers in combat, we don't have the time to worry about a man's skin color when you in the foxhole and bullets are flying over your head. All you got to do is worry about this. This man had your back. So we go for the hearts of men. If your heart's in the right place, I really don't care what your skin color is. You know?
That's it. I agree with that 110%. You know? I just went through something with somebody, same issue. Dude told me, like, yeah, you keep on teaching the Aryan Brotherhood. I was like, yo, you sound stupid, man. Like, I teach people who want to know how to protect themselves, man. That's it.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's right. Nobody has a moratorium on self-protection, man. Right?
Yes.
Everybody has a right to know how to protect themselves and their families. Don't matter what their skin color is.
Exactly. You know? That's right.
But,
there's no lock on information. You know, all information is free to every man. That's what it is.
I agree with that 100%. And you said something to make me think of something, man. I lost it. I can't think of it. But you guys said something that fucking thought. I don't know. It'll come to me. You'll probably be getting the phone from me. But
yes.
I appreciate you, man, taking the time to build with me today, brother. You know,
man. I appreciate what you're doing, man. I like what you're doing.
Thank you, man.
Attention to 52.
Oh, that's what it was.
Go ahead.
You spoke about the movies. You familiar with the brother Kali Sticks? 52 FMA?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah, he does. He got a thing where he's like doing movies and stuff. I think he's independent. Everything go right. I want to have him on here too. But that brother is trying to push the 52 into the cinematic forum. You know what I mean?
We got to give credit first where credit's due with Lorenz Tate and my brother Diallo Frazier. They already did that. Yeah, they did something to BET. I forgot the name of the movie they did, but 52 Blocks is in it. They had another part called 52 Ammo, which breaks down 52 blocks. Salute to Ludacris, one of the brothers out there doing it. So my brother Diallo Frazier, he's more connected with the movie thing, so he's definitely trying to push that envelope. And Kali Sticks, if he's doing that, salute to him. I would love to see more, because Kung Fu got a grip on the movie system.
I know.
Like every dude that's that's the hero, he somehow knows some Kung Fu, even if he ain't never studied. He somehow can bust out some Kung Fu. So I think we need to start seeing 52 on that level.
You're making me think.
I don't know why 50 Cent ain't doing it yet. I don't know how 50 being from Jamaica, Queens. I know 50 Cent. I know he knows about it, but I think the thing with 50 is he remembers it being kind of loose, so he doesn't believe the structure is gang right now. Like something else I like to put out there, like I said, I ain't blowing my own horn, but 52 Blocks never really had a system. It wasn't systemized. We had to kind of like imitate what we seen, and that's cool, but that's not a good way of learning. Like if we talk about muscle memory, how to get something muscle memory, it has to be something you can do over and over and over and over until your body gets the memory of it. And then, you do it without thinking. Like it becomes something that you don't have to think about. And that's what I did is, damn.
Yeah, I followed that example. I came my own little curriculum. Because I agree. It got to be, if it's not systemized, it's all over the place, man. And nobody takes it serious. Nobody respects it if it ain't systemized. But, yeah, man. Uh-oh. Buffering again, brother. Can you hear me? Give it a second. Oh, you lost the brother. Hold on, let me get him back in here. Damn, bro, I don't know if you can see me or not, but I guess that's a sign from the universe. We're gonna wrap this up. Shadow. Again, I want to thank the brother Lyte Burly for coming on. Deep conversation. I hope everybody's going to enjoy it. 52 VTK Combat Concepts, 52 Facts signing off. See you on the other side. Harambe.